Eva and welcome to my channel. As you saw by the title, I'm going to be showing you my entire physical TBR. I honestly feel like I have a good amount on my TBR. I don't think it's too much and I don't think it's too little. Actually, it could be smaller, but I like the amount I have. I like having options for my three favorite genres, which is romance, romantasy, and mysteries and thrillers. So I guess that's technically 4 genres, but I always put mystery and thrillers together. And I hope you enjoyed this video because it took forever to get all of them down from where they're sitting, especially because yesterday I just reorganized my shelf, so hopefully I remember where I put everything. So I actually have like 5 different genres of books, though I usually just read romance, mysteries, thrillers, and fantasy, well, more like romantasy. But I have 1 nonfiction book, 2 contemporary slash fiction books. I don't really know if they're contemporary fiction or just general fiction. Then I have 5 mystery slash thrillers. I put them in the same category. Then I have 10 fantasy books and 20 romance books. So romance is my main genre I read, so that doesn't surprise me at all. We're gonna go from the category I have the least amount of books to the category I have the most amount of books to. So for the 1 nonfiction book, I have Inside Mercedes F1 by Matt Wyman. I have become obsessed with F1 in the past 2 years. At the end of 2024, this book was an option for a Goodreads giveaway, and I rarely win Goodreads giveaways. This is one of the ones I actually won from a Goodreads giveaway, and I have started it. Come on. Okay, you can't really see because it's not focusing. I'm around 80 pages in. I started this all the way back in February, so here's the 1 nonfiction book I have. Moving on to the contemporary slash fiction books I have Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I've had this book on my TBR for a long time. I will be reading this month. I'm determined to read it this month. Then the other fiction, contemporary fiction book I have is The Messy Lives of Book People. I randomly picked this up on a whim. I feel like I'm not going to read this for a while because general fiction kind of scares me. Then on to the mysteries and thrillers I have The Maid by Nita Prose. Oh my god, you can see my sweaty fingerprints on the cover. That's cute. And we have The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapina. I don't know how to say her last name. This one's actually a movie, so after I read this, I'm going to watch the movie, or it's a TV show. Can't remember if it's a movie or TV show. Then we have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Haven't read anything by him before, but I've only heard good things, so I'm excited to get into this. So I believe those 3 were more thriller-esque. These 2 are more mystery-esque. So we have The Rosewood Hunt by Mackenzie Reed and The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I love this cover as well as the Inheritance Games covers. I think they're so neat looking, but I'm nervous to get into this one because I know it's like a continuation of the Inheritance Games series, and I just hope it's not just dragging along. Now into my romantasy fantasy books I have. First I have Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. Everybody loves this book, but I've just been putting it off. Then I have Children of Eden by Joey Graceffa. I love his show Escape the Night, so I hope he also wrote a good book. Then we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is actually an indie published version. I got it right after it came out and still haven't read it. At first I just heard everybody loving it, and now I hear quite a bit of mixed feelings. I'm kind of nervous. Plus, this is a chunky book. I believe this is around 500. Yeah, 525. This is 525 pages. So, even though I feel like most fantasy books are around 500 pages, but I don't know why that one specifically makes me nervous. Then, I'm not 100% sure this is fantasy, but I put it in the fantasy category, and that's Anatomy by Dana Schwartz. See, this is confusing me because it says mystery, medical fiction, then at the bottom it says historical fiction with elements of gothic fantasy. So I don't really know what genre it is. Then I have The Divine Rivals duology by Rebecca Ross. I've read one other book by her and I loved it, and I never see anybody talk about it. It's The Sisters of Sword and Song. That's so good, so I'm really excited to finally get into these. Then I have The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. I really loved the first book in this duology, but I've read it over 2 or 3 years ago now, whenever it first came out. I kind of want to reread the whole Cruel Prince series as well as the first book in this. Am I really going to do that? I don't know. Then the next book is the one that has been on my TBR the longest, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. I love the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by her, and I've heard nothing but good things about the first book in the series. I just have to finally pick it up and get into it because I feel like I'm gonna love it. And then the last book for my fantasy romantasy pile is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. This is definitely the largest book I own. I believe it's around 830 pages. Yeah, something like that. I've heard even people who are like the biggest Sarah J. Maas fans say that this book was disappointing. I'm kind of nervous to get into it. Plus, again, she's chunky, so I'm nervous to get into it. Now to get into the last category, which is romance books. I'm just gonna rapid fire them. So first up, I have 2 Ali Hazelwood books. These are the last 2 books I have to read until I have read all of her books. So that's Deep End and Check and Meet. Then I have The Frontrunner by Elsie Silver. I just have to read this and then the last book in the series, and then I'll have read all of Elsie Silver's books. Then I have Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. Loved Out on a Limb. Excited for this one. And we have Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. Dishonestly Yours by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I love the Addicted and Calloway Sister series by them, and I'm really excited to get into this one. Then we got 2 Jessica Joyce books, The X-Vows and You with a View. I've only heard good things about these. I'm really excited for these. I feel like I've said that for every book. Then we have First Time Caller by B.K. Borison. One thing I like about B.K. Borison books is that they're all set in Maryland, which is where I'm from. And I don't know, I just love when a book is set in Maryland. And this is the last one in the first stack I grabbed, which is Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. Now this is a YA romance. We have So This Is Love by Tracy Andreen. This is the second book to So This Is Christmas, which loved. Super underrated. Okay, we only have a little bit more, but this air just kicked on and it's very loud. Next we have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Then another Christmassy wintry one is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayless. Then I have Reputation by Lex Croucher. I have owned this book for a while and I kind of always forget I own it for some reason. Then I have The Long Game by Lena Armas. Then we have another book I've owned for a while, Get a Life, Chloe Brown. I've heard so many good things about Talia Hibbert's books, especially this series, and I really need to get into it. Then we have 2 more books that will make me finish a series. We have Hexed by Emily McIntyre and Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is the book I'm going to be reading after the one I'm reading right now. For our last 2, they are 2 very different books from each other. At least I think so. The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, and Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller. I believe this is the only darker, well I guess Hex is a dark romance as well, but this is one of the only darker romances I own. This is also one of the books I've owned for the longest. So yeah, I will put the total count on the screen. I believe it is like 38, and I don't think that's too bad. I think that's a decent amount of books. I personally don't like to go above 60 on my TBR, so I'm pretty happy with the amount I have, and I would honestly love to get even lower. I've been pretty good with reading my physical TBR this year. I'm proud of that. Comment down below what book you think I need to get to first on my TBR. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one.